The town of Blackridge had a secret that it harbored for generations, a chilling annual phenomenon known only to its residents. Every year, like clockwork, a dense and eerie fog rolled in from the nearby forest. The fog, called the harvest mist, was a sinister shroud that enshrouded the town on the night of the autumn equinox. It was a night when the darkness felt thicker, the moon brighter, and the silence deeper. The people of Blackridge had grown used to this macabre tradition, believing that the harvest mist was an inevitable part of their lives. But this year, a chilling unease settled over the town, for whispers of the mist's malevolent power had begun to circulate, warning of its mysterious connection to the unexplained disappearances that plagued the town. Margaret Colburn had lived in Blackridge all her life, and each year, the arrival of the harvest mist sent shivers down her spine. She had heard the tales of those who vanished into the fog, never to return. Some said they had been lost to the underworld, while others whispered that the mist concealed an unspeakable terror. Margaret had always dismissed these stories as mere superstition, but this year, something was different. On the night of the equinox, Margaret found herself peering out of her window, her breath visible in the chill air. The fog had begun to seep into the town, swirling and coiling around the street lamps, casting eerie shadows that danced like specters. The once vibrant town was now submerged in an oppressive silence, as if nature itself held its breath. Margaret couldn't resist the lure of the mist. Its beguiling call was a melody that beckoned her forth, and she found herself stepping out into the fog-shrouded street. Her heart raced, and her footsteps echoed ominously in the ghostly stillness. She moved deeper into the mist, captivated by the ethereal glow of the moon, which seemed closer than ever before. As Margaret wandered, she heard faint, distant whispers. Muffled voices and eerie laughter echoed through the fog, like a chorus of lost souls. She couldn't quite make out the words, but they sent shivers down her spine. The spectral figures that appeared in the mist only added to the sense of foreboding. Dark, shadowy forms flickered at the edges of her vision, and when she turned to confront them, they melted into the fog. Fear gnawed at Margaret's insides, but she couldn't bring herself to turn back. The harvest mist had its hold on her, drawing her deeper into the heart of the town. It was as if the mist had a life of its own, guiding her through the labyrinthine streets. In the distance, Margaret saw a flicker of light, a dim glow like a beacon in the void. The light led her to a small, dilapidated chapel that had been abandoned for years. The creaking door beckoned her inside, and she entered with a sense of trepidation. The interior of the chapel was filled with a strange, otherworldly illumination. Candles burned on an altar, casting eerie shadows on the faded frescoes. Margaret's gaze was drawn to a dusty old book, the pages yellowed with age. It lay open on the lectern, and as she approached, the text began to shift and writhe, forming words that seemed to materialize from the very fog itself. "Embrace the mist," the words whispered, their voices an unsettling chorus. "Become one with the fog." Margaret's pulse quickened as she felt an irresistible compulsion to follow the cryptic instruction. The mist enveloped her, and she took a step toward the altar. With each step, her connection to the world outside weakened, and her memories began to fade, like mist evaporating under the morning sun. The town of Blackridge awoke the next morning to find Margaret Colburn missing, just another name on the long list of those who had disappeared into the harvest mist. As the mist dissipated with the rising sun, the townspeople felt the familiar mixture of relief and dread. They mourned the loss of another resident, yet they knew that the harvest mist would return the following year, beckoning more souls into its sinister embrace. For the people of Blackridge, the mystery of the mist endured, an annual dance with the unknown. They couldn't escape its pull, for the harvest mist was a part of their town's dark legacy, a chilling reminder of the supernatural forces that lurked just beyond the veil of reality. The next year, as the equinox approached, the people of Blackridge felt a heavy sense of foreboding. The memory of Margaret's disappearance was still fresh in their minds, and the annual arrival of the harvest mist had taken on an even darker tone. Whispers of sinister encounters in the mist had grown more frequent, and the townspeople dared not venture out on that fateful night. Ethan, a resident of Blackridge, had always been skeptical of the supernatural. He saw the harvest mist as nothing more than a natural phenomenon, despite the eerie stories that surrounded it. Determined to prove that there was a rational explanation for the town's yearly terror, Ethan decided to venture into the mist. On the night of the equinox, Ethan found himself standing at the edge of the fog-shrouded town. The air was thick with an unnatural cold, and his flashlight cut through the swirling mist like a feeble beacon. The town's empty streets seemed to stretch into infinity, and the silence was oppressive. Ethan walked deeper into the fog, his footsteps echoing with a haunting resonance. As he pressed on, he heard faint, distant whispers, similar to those Margaret had encountered the year before. The voices seemed to come from all directions, and they hissed in a language he couldn't understand. He tried to dismiss them as mere hallucinations, but the unease gnawed at his soul. A flicker of movement caught his eye, and he turned to see a shadowy figure darting through the fog. Panic surged through him as he chased after it, his flashlight's beams slicing through the mist, but the figure always stayed just out of reach. With each step, the whispering voices grew louder and more insistent, as though they were urging him deeper into the heart of the mist. Ethan stumbled upon a crumbling, forgotten graveyard hidden within the fog, its tombstones leaning at odd angles and partially obscured by creeping ivy. The atmosphere here was suffocating, and the whispers seemed to emanate from the very ground itself. As he moved closer to one of the tombstones, the earth beneath him trembled, and skeletal hands burst forth, grasping at him with bony fingers. With a scream, Ethan fell backward, his flashlight flickering out as it hit the ground. In the pitch-black darkness, the whispers turned into anguished cries, and the graveyard seemed to come alive. He felt cold breath on his neck, and unseen hands clawed at his clothing, pulling him deeper into the burial ground. Ethan desperately clawed his way out of the grasp of the undead, crawling through the thick fog. He could feel the chilling presence of the mist closing in, and it seemed to leer at him with malevolent intent. His mind began to unravel, and he struggled to remember why he had ventured into the fog in the first place. Just as he felt himself slipping into madness, a faint glimmer of light pierced the mist. It was the moon, breaking through the fog's veil, casting an otherworldly glow on the graveyard. The grip of the spectral hands loosened, and Ethan managed to scramble to his feet, stumbling back into the town. Exhausted and trembling, he collapsed at the town's edge as the mist gradually began to recede. He had narrowly escaped the clutches of the harvest mist, and the encounter had left him forever changed. Ethan returned to Blackridge with a harrowing tale, one that would cement the town's dark reputation. The harvest mist was not just a benign natural occurrence, it held a malevolent sentience, a hunger for souls, and a nightmarish connection to the spectral realm. Blackridge's chilling secret had been unearthed, and the annual dance with the unknown had claimed yet another victim. The people of Blackridge would forever remember Ethan's ordeal as a cautionary tale, a stark reminder that some mysteries were never meant to be unraveled, and some terrors were beyond human comprehension. The harvest mist would continue to roll in each year, beckoning souls to its ominous embrace, a malevolent presence lurking just beyond the veil of reality. In the aftermath of Ethan's terrifying encounter with the harvest mist, the town of Blackridge was cast into a deeper, more palpable fear. The malevolent fog's true nature had been exposed, and a profound unease had settled over the town. The memory of Margaret's disappearance, the whispers of other lost souls, and now Ethan's harrowing escape had become a chilling legacy for Blackridge. The town's residents debated what to do, but fear and superstition held them in an unbreakable grip. Some suggested leaving Blackridge altogether, while others believed that appeasing the enigmatic entity responsible for the harvest mist was the only way to ensure the safety of the town. The latter group sought the guidance of the town's oldest resident, Old Man McAllister, who had seen countless harvest mists come and go. Old Man McAllister was a recluse, residing in a dilapidated cottage on the outskirts of Blackridge. He was rumored to possess arcane knowledge and had always been shrouded in an aura of mystery. On the eve of the next equinox, a group of townspeople gathered at his door, pleading for his help. McAllister, a withered figure with a long white beard, reluctantly agreed to guide them. He explained that the harvest mist was a supernatural force that had existed long before Blackridge itself. It was a manifestation of ancient, unfulfilled desires and the lost souls who had succumbed to its call over the centuries. McAllister revealed that he, too, had ventured into the mist many years ago, seeking answers, but he had managed to return, albeit with a heavy toll on his soul. Under McAllister's guidance, the townspeople embarked on a perilous journey into the mist. They carried with them an offering, a relic from the town's history, a long-forgotten token of a promise made to the mysterious force within the fog. McAllister believed that by presenting this tribute, they might appease the entity responsible for the harvest mist. As they moved through the mist, the whispers grew louder and more insistent, as if the fog itself sought to draw them deeper into its web. Shadows flickered at the edge of their vision, and ghostly figures appeared and vanished, their mournful faces reflecting lifetimes of regret. Finally, they reached the heart of the harvest mist, where the fog was thickest and the moon's light was obscured by a swirling vortex of darkness. They placed the offering on the ground and waited, their hearts pounding with fear. The fog seemed to come alive, swirling and twisting around them, whispering its demands in ancient, incomprehensible voices. As the moments stretched into eternity, the mist suddenly coalesced into a shape, a formless entity that hovered before them. It was a being of pure darkness, a void in the shape of a human figure, with eyes that glowed like dying embers. The entity seemed to gaze into the depths of their souls, probing their fears, regrets, and desires. Then, with a voice that echoed through the depths of their consciousness, it spoke. "You offer this token in exchange for your safety," it hissed, "but no sacrifice can undo what has been wrought. I shall take your offering, but the harvest mist will return, as it always does, for it is born of your town's dark history and your own unresolved sorrows." The entity accepted the offering, and the fog began to recede, slowly returning the town to its normal state. The people of Blackridge retreated, their encounter with the malevolent force having left them shaken and with a newfound awareness of the town's chilling history. As the years passed, the harvest mist continued to return, a reminder of the town's dark past and the inescapable presence that lingered on the edge of reality. The people of Blackridge had not conquered the entity within the fog, but they had forged an uneasy truce, one that would require them to face their own fears and confront the unresolved darkness within their own hearts each year. The chilling tales of the harvest mist persisted, whispered from one generation to the next, a haunting legacy that would forever bind Blackridge to its sinister secret. In the end, the town and its residents were left to grapple with the enigmatic malevolence that lurked just beyond the veil, a presence that defied understanding and challenged their very souls.